Hey Wizard, so in this video, as committed, I'm going to take you through a sneak preview as to how the new crypto website is looking right now for statistical arbitrage, and machine learning. And I'm going to spend the first part of this video going through the Z-score tool, the upgrades on that, because I know most of the emails I get are around statistical arbitrage or Z-score, so I'm going to start there. Now, when you see white, the screen will look white like this. It's only because this is the old website. So if you go to cryptowizards.net today, you will see this exact thing here. You might change your screen to be darker, but this is what you'll see. So what I'm going to show you with the new upgrades, you will not see until the end of November, right? There's still a lot of work to do. I'm only about 70% of the way through. There's been months and months and months of work, but there's still some loose ends to tie up and some bugs here and there to fix. So I'm going through that. By the end of this month, this is what you will see at cryptowizards.net. But right now you'll see it's on localhost 3000. That means these upgrades are running on my local machine. Okay, so if you sign up today, you will still get this. You will get this website here, but only at the end of the month should you actually see these upgrades that I'm taking you through here in this video. Right, if you're not a member of cryptowizards.net and you're not interested in becoming a member at cryptowizards.net, the only thing you're going to get out of this video is probably going to be some information about what I've seen relating to arbitrage during spending a lot of time with data and or web development. If you're not interested in that, probably skip this video. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing is, if we look at the old tool, the tool that's currently up on the website today, you basically run a chart, right? You put in whatever assets you want to compare for pairs trading, and then you can go and run a custom backtest and put in whatever parameters you want to put in to do that. Once that's run, it'll give you a PDF report. It's very detailed. It's very good in my own opinion. And you have all of that there. The problem with this, and the problem that I've had with this, is it takes too much time, right? So this is the custom chart search here, which still exists in the new tool I'll show you in a second. But you also have the pre-scanned here. So I'd have to select one of the pre-scanned and then run the charts over here to see what that data looks like. The new tool works completely differently. Now, there are anywhere between 10 to 15 machines running at any given time searching for arbitrage opportunities, right? And then loading them for the Crypto Wizards members to see here at the website. So there's a lot of hunting going on. But one of the interesting things we can do here is on the pre-searched, we can select this and it will pre-run a backtest for me, right? So for example, here, I know that Tron and Ape, this is one I looked at earlier, it looked pretty promising. Here we are, Ape USDT to Tron USDT. It runs the backtest for me, right? So, and this is just on the pre-scanned, right? So it's pre-scanned, it's loading a backtest really quickly. And you can literally change this live, right? I could say, right, only open a trade if Z-scores at 2 negative and close it if it's at, say, 2 positive. And I can see instantly what that's going to do high level to the trading results. So this is just a high level analysis to begin with. I can close out the trade or have it close when it reverts back to the mean and see what the impact of that is. And you can see those changes I made actually impact this trade negatively, right? So if I go back here and switch this to the standard settings, which I find the best. So I've defaulted this to a standard deviation of 1.5 for the Z-score. This works the best, it seems to be in trades anyway. So you can see here the win rate's pretty strong, but actually overall, because of the market volatility with what's going on with FTX, etc. at the moment, which I'm not going to cover here on this channel, but what's going on with that has obviously, it's put crypto completely out of whack. But it's really interesting. What's cool about this is now we can find things really quickly. So here I just selected FTM and Chainlink, and you can see here also a high win rate with a lower drawdown and actually a total gain and an annual gain on that as well. So this is on hourly charts. And by the way, these are like the worst results I've seen, again, due to the craziness going on in the market, but still, like, it's really quick to find profitable pairs. So that's pretty cool. You can do it for Forex as well on the pre-scanned. So you can do more than crypto and Forex on this tool, but for pre-scanned, I've only got engines running for crypto and Forex. Forex will go up to a 1 hour time frame, so daily 1 hour, 5 minute. I haven't got that going yet, but on the crypto side, it does work. So you can go to a 5 minute time frame on crypto and you will get some pre-scanned opportunities for that as well. And actually there's a lot of them. It's finding a lot of interesting things. You can also filter by the spread. So how well does the spread cross the zero line? That's using this AD Fuller stat. Right, so here's one that looks really promising. So Chainlink USDT and BNB USDT, switching back to crypto now. Now let's say, for example, you're not getting what you want out of this, right? You have something custom you want to search. Well, what you can do is pop up here and go to this detailed chart tab. And that is going to be pretty much the exact same thing as this. It's the same idea, except much cooler, and it works much faster. So here you can see it's pre-running. Again, it's pre-running the backtest for you. It'll allow you to stack the charts if you want them overlaid one on top of the other. We've combined the spread and the z-score as well, if you hadn't already noticed. So you can look at those sort of overlapping on one another. That's a request that had been coming through. And so there's a lot here that basically you can do that's the same, except you can switch this now to FMP instead of just Forex. And I could say, look at the S&P 500, I don't know, versus NASDAQ. So the financial modeling prep, so for a lot of you who follow the channel, you'll know they're fantastic. They actually provide Crypto Wizards with data. We have an agreement with them. They're a really good platform. If you're just interested in their data, check out their platform. But you know, we've integrated with them. So they allow us to search anything, commodities, ETFs, whatever. And we can go and get that data over here pretty easily, change the time frame. Here I could do it on 5 minute if I wanted to as well. And go and look at the co-integration for that. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. If I select Binance again, I might want to do something like link US dollar tether, and you know, we could do that to something like Sol USDT. It'd be interesting to see how that looks. And all of a sudden you've just got the information. So it's much quicker. Those are the upgrades based on a lot of the user requests and also some of my own desires where I felt things were too slow in the past. And I'm really excited to get that in. Now, if we move away from z-score and we go just staying in the nature of arbitrage, basically, for those of you who've been around long enough here with me on the channel, you'll know that arbitrage is very experimental because once opportunities become known, the tool becomes pretty much useless. And this is literally like version 5 now of the tool. So I'm not going to give too much away right now. I'll do this nearer the launch, but I have found a way to find arbitrage opportunities that people aren't really talking about right now. And it's looking really, really interesting. Probably this will become useless pretty soon after launch, so don't pay too much credence to it. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this tool and add in what we have on the current tool today. So the flash gap functionality over here, where we can test run transactions. The problem is on the current tool today, the problem with doing it to actually go and test run it is quite fidgety, and you have to go and paste things in like here, etc. Basically what I'm wanting to do here is you have your pre-scanned opportunities here. So let's say this one looks promising. You can go and check them really quickly. So I can go and wrap it in dollars if I want to, and it'll do it in dollars or not, however you want to do it. And then the idea is to have a totally separate section for flash gap where you can build your own flash loan arbitrage. So it'll be, you know, a lot like some of the other websites out there that let you do that, but it's going to just be much more focused and direct and purposeful about what it achieves. So, you know, that's a tool that will come in. Right now, there are still some pre-scanned opportunities on the flash gap tool or the flash loan tool over here. But honestly speaking, like, they're not looking great right now. So I'm dubious as to whether to include them, you know, at launch or not. This open trace one, I'm pretty excited about, but again, arbitrage is very experimental. The idea here on the upgrade though was to provide something new and also to provide something where it's actually really easy to go and test that trade, right? So here I can test it based on the local currency coin, but if I go and wrap that in dollars, there might be more of like a triangular arbitrage opportunity going on over there. But again, how and where to trade this and how that works, I'm going to save that when it's nearer to launch because I actually need to test it out more fully myself first. If we go over to XTrader, so before on the old tool, we had this, you know, machine learning section. So you have your data builder, you had your data engineer, you had your back testing, so your machine learning, you had your back testing. Right now, what we've done is just combined all of these into one tool called XTrader, which makes everything much quicker. So you can group things into projects, right? So let's say I have a project and I'm interested in Forex, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, dude project. I could call it whatever I want to. I can save files into different projects and work on those projects in isolation if I want to. For me, honestly, I'm just saving things in default project right now, so there will always be a default project. Now, if I want to add some data, it's really easy. We go to add data. Let's say it's crypto data I want. I could go, USDT, and it'll bring up everything in USDT. Let's say I want Aave, or you can even just type in the ticker symbol, get data. And you can do this as many times as you want, right? You can get as much data as you want to. There's no difference basically to how the current tool works. Now, the engineering features are on the same tool. They're still under this data manager. So, we can now go and play with columns directly over here. I could do something like, I don't know, add in hidden Markov states, which for those of you who have done the machine learning for crypto and trading course, you'll know I'm a big fan of Hidden Markov Model states. I can go and just add those in. So it'll actually then go and run Python in the background and add those states in. And then I could, let's say, remove any NAs because I don't want any NAs on here. In other words, NAND values, and hit save. And now I've got hidden Markov states. What's cool about this, other than, all the general features you'll probably already be familiar with down here, is we can go and save this. So, I could save this transformation as HMM add or something like that. And when I go and create new data, I can have it auto do all of my transformations that I want done to data. So that once I've done this once and saved it, I never have to do it again. So that's actually also really time saving and very cool. So if you find yourself adding like daily log returns all the time, etc., well, now you can have it do that automatically. In terms of charting, I thought it would be cool to be able to do charting on the data. So for example, we could have a candlestick chart load, and this will be based on the actual data using the TradingView integration here, which is really cool. Or I think it's cool anyway, I'm really enjoying it. Or we can have the line chart here too. So we could add in, say, I don't know, volume, and put volume on the secondary axis, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things we can do here. And if you click on here, it'll remove it, by the way. So if I want to put high there, or let's put volume there again, because that makes more sense. I can do so, right? So there's a lot more you can do in terms of interrogating the data that you're either uploading, because if you go here as well, you'll notice there's an upload section. You can either upload your own data or that you're just pulling direct from the platform. So really cool. Now, one of the things I'm really excited about is the backtesting part, because again, in the old tool here, if I go to the BackTrader over here, and let's take, I don't know, Lincoln ETH, as much as I like the UI of this, it takes too much time, right? So again, the whole thesis here of the new upgrades on the platform are, how do we make this faster and more accurate, basically? And so one of the things that we've done is put in like a descriptor here. So we can say, look, go long when the close is greater than yesterday's close. So close, look back 1. And there are prompts that you can learn here. Once you learn them, it takes like 60 seconds to learn them. Once you get the gist of how this works, it's really quick to learn. And you can add other things, and the high is, I don't know, greater than the low from, 5 days ago. And I could say, and we're in HMM state 0, right? So there's so much you can do with that. So we could go and run this back test over here, and you can see it literally took seconds. Now that trade's never closing, it only opened one trade. So let me just put in a condition to say always close after 7 periods, right? So if I run that again, here it'll show me where it opened and closed the trades. It'll show me the high level backtest results here. And one of the other cool things we can do as well is actually add HMMs. So if I go back to my data manager here, and let's say I don't have HMM, right? So I don't actually have that in my data already. I can go over to my strategy manager and I could say, all right, let's do this again. Close is greater than close, look back 1, or, close is above moving average, close it when whatever conditions you want to put in for both longs, which are the greens, and shorts, which are the reds, you can do. If you didn't have HMMs, you can add them here and then run that back test, and it'll go add them in and do a really nifty bit of analysis here to actually show you what the price action looks like and what state we're in. Another thing with all the charts is we can zoom in. So if I hit Control, I can now, play with these charts, which for me is really useful. But it's just really cool to be able to run like S&P or whatever I want really quick and literally see visually what states based on math and probability the market's in right now. And it doesn't mean up, down, or sideways. These states, if you've gone through the course, you'll know it. But if you haven't, these states are based on, what is the returns and the volatility profile look like. So, out of the 3 states, where are we? Now, this section here right now, you'll see is blank. That's because I'm still working on it. But essentially what this is going to do is give an indicator as to what states your backtesting strategy works best in. So that's something I'm really excited about. It's pretty tricky to get it to do it, but I know how to do it, and we're going to get it in there. So that's cool. And then finally, prediction manager, like Flash Gap, that's not ready yet. Right now, that's just a blank page. The back end is written. It's really just about writing the front end interface now. But this is going to be, basically like the ML trainer over here. This is going to be where you basically select your file and you go and make a prediction, and it literally makes those predictions and gives them to you in an Excel file or just online so you can view them on Crypto Wizards. So that is the sneak peek. Everything else is pretty much the same. Obviously, contact form. In terms of authentication, signing up and canceling, I know people have had issues with the current site. It depends on how they signed up, where they signed up from. It turns out JavaScript is a tricky animal. Who knew? But the whole idea here with the new platform is to make it much, much, much easier for people to basically manage or cancel billing, etc., etc., etc. So this will be, from a user journey perspective, I'm hoping a lot more robust. Like the way to log in into the website, etc., is changing. So if I go to the home page, you'll see here there's just dashboard. If you weren't logged in, it'll just say log in, and it'll take you through a magic link, right? So you won't need a password. You can just use your email, authenticate by email, and as long as you don't log out for a few days, it'll just stay logged in for you. So it'll work much more app-like, so that there's less I have to log in every time I'm using this thing. And so that's basically it. That is the update in a nutshell of what's been going on behind the scenes with the new Crypto Wizards. I've talked through it very quickly because I hate people having to watch like long videos just to get general takeaways. There's still a lot to do. Again, I'm hoping to have it done by the end of November. I'm pushing really, 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 really hard for all of this to be done by then, because there's actually a lot of other things I want to be going through in terms of courses, but also other tools and apps I want to develop, which will be like free apps for us to work on together on the channel, things like that. So, a lot of other things I'm very enthusiastic, you can probably tell, very excited about doing. So how have we thought about, the web architecture? Well, if you want speed, you basically need JavaScript, right? So if you want things to happen quickly, where the user is not waiting a long time, I've used JavaScript, but not really JavaScript as such. I've actually used TypeScript for the type safety aspect of it. And a lot of the reason for that as well is I want to start bringing in other tech into the platform. Like I want to start bringing in Solana-based stuff, etc., where we can write our own smart contract or programs essentially. And you need TypeScript on the front end if you're going to play with that. Every single line of code, this is why it's taken months. So every single line of code for this platform has been rewritten from scratch. There is nothing that's been copied. It's all been rewritten from scratch using TypeScript, etc. So that's just how I wanted to do it. To me, there was no other way. And I've enjoyed doing it, but it's also been, like a huge slog, because I think I had taken for granted how much we've done as a team, as a community, all of us over the years. And to rewrite all of that from scratch, it's like a year's work. It's crazy. So that's, a lot of this is in JavaScript. Now, what about some of the statistical arbitrage stuff, etc.? Well, that's Python. And for those of you who love web development, etc., you'll be interested to know, well, how do you combine the two? How has that happened efficiently? Why is it quicker? Why can we get co-integration fast? Well, the way that I've sort of got across this is the Python runs in a separate environment completely. And that's how it works today. Today, what happens is there's a Python backend, so fast API is running on the backend, etc. JavaScript's on the front end, but now it's JavaScript or TypeScript now on the front end. but a lot of the backend stuff has been coded within the front end, and the Python stuff is still in its own environment. And so basically that is how that's working. The problem I have with it is authentication. I think, with these JavaScript frameworks, etc., there are users in different countries that face different issues when signing up sometimes, etc. I do get emails where I have to either resolve things with someone or provide them a refund, etc. It's less than ideal. I'm not a huge fan of JavaScript for that reason, from a web platform perspective. If I could have it my way, I'd have something like robust like Django that would work very well with front-end frameworks easily, and it doesn't do that easily. So for me, this new architecture is the fastest. Where I'm going to be spending a lot of time now is on security and making sure that the authentication side is basically less painful for people. So that's a little bit on the web architecture side. I hope this gives you enough of a sneak peek preview. There's obviously a lot more I haven't shown you here, but at least you can see how things are taking form. I'm very excited about it. And until the next one, take care. Talk soon.